Hello everyone, and welcome back to Among the Embers. After a brief hiatus, real life, it's a bitch. Anyway, as usual, we would like to thank Modifius for creating this wonderful gaming system. Startrek Online for allowing us to use some of their assets. And of course, Fury of the Seraph on DeviantArt, who created the template which allowed us to make a dedication plaque for the USS Nightingale. Announcements. Our medical officer is not joining us this week, but fingers crossed will be joining us next week. So we will have Tellarite shenanigans soon, TM.
Hopefully.
Yes, well. The other thing being that we are going to have a slightly broken up session this week because I have my own real life things to deal with. And I should probably head off in about an hour or so. So we'll be aiming for our usual 3-hour-ish length. And police will arrest me if I break that. But there will be an hour or so gap in the middle. So I'll give everyone a chance to get some coffee, whatever. I know that it's a little early for you folks on the other side of the pond. But just all that in mind. Yes, well, you're Pacific Coast, aren't you? So super early for you.
Yeah. I'm no coast.
Indeed. But yes, I believe we had some technical difficulties last time, which meant the last 15 minutes, half an hour or so was cut off. So, yeah, these things happen, unfortunately. Who remembers what happened last time, then?
I do. We had reached the Romulan colony planet that was taken hostage. Nas and Ventot had taken a small away team down to meet up with a Romulan contact. And to what was it? Establish a sensor scattering field from an old Tal Shiar post.
That's correct. Yes.
Alrighty. After doing so, they drew the attention of a Crusade patrol.
Indeed, which they managed to scare off quite handily.
Yes, quite effectively, but now without one red shirt being a casualty.
Not fatality, fortunately, but
yeah.
But yes, this gave the Nightingale a chance to sneak up on the Crusade vessel.
And
that's where everything starts to go horribly, horribly wrong.
Yes. My character, Pharrell Ranus, managed to activate a viral matrix deflector pulse at the Crusader ship. How was it effective on the ship?
It did successfully disable the Crusade vessel.
Okay.
But
I wasn't entirely clear on that one.
Yeah, something happened which meant that it got reflected back at you. And I have some sort of computer virus in systems which just transformed half of engineering into a stone wall.
And symbols are appearing all over the ship on consoles and stuff.
Correct. We also have the matter of down on the surface, the Crusaders are holding a significant number of hostages, and Commander Bassan will need to rescue them. We're going to be focusing on what is happening on the ship for this week, I believe. There might be some things which happen down on the surface as a result. But for now, I believe Ventot and Pharrell and all of the staff in main engineering are freaking out over, oh god, why is there a stone wall suddenly? I was just using that console.
What on earth is going on here?
I have no idea.
What?
I will attempt to scan this wall and see if I can determine anything.
Oh, it looks like concrete or stone.
Alrighty.
Unless your eyes are a better tricorder than mine.
Well, that will be a reason science check from you.
Difficulty 1?
Difficulty of 1.
1. Alright. I will not. And just to make sure I'm clear, our momentum count is at 4 right now, right? Or does it go down because we started a new session or something?
This is continuation of the last scene, so you're still on 4 momentum.
Okay.
I'm terrible at remembering. It's supposed to go down every scene. I'm terrible at remembering that, but
okay. Well, regardless, I'm not spending momentum, so.
Oh, while he's rolling that, have we informed the bridge of what just happened?
The whole ship knows what's happening.
Well, I don't necessarily know about
the wall.
Stone walls.
Well, the whole ship knows something is happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll wait after this
See
scan.
how this goes.
That'll be 1 success. All right. Yes. That is that's stone, all right.
Can I? No, never mind. I was going to ask if I use my intense scrutiny, but we're not in it. I'm not in an extended task.
Nope.
I was going to see if I could try and remove that at 0.
That's not how resistance works anyway.
Yeah.
But you do have, as a science officer, you do get 1 bonus momentum for asking questions when you're scanning stuff. Something which I discovered as I was reading through again. In fact, Ventot, you have the same thing.
From Ryan scans? That's what he just said, so.
Okay, operations manager and science officer. When you succeed at a task assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, or using a tricorder, character generates 1 bonus momentum, which may only be used on the obtain information momentum spend.
Makes sense.
You are good at scanning things. Basically, you have a free question for all.
All right. What is my initial scan? Tell me.
I mean, that's
not my question, but I just want to know what my try.
No, this is definitely some form of stone, granite possibly, but it shows all the signs of being replicated rather than natural. You can tell when stone in particular has been replicated because it tends to be very neat, unnaturally so, on a molecular level, just because of the way that it's been produced.
And I assume there's a bunch of strange hieroglyphic characters on it.
There are definitely some, yes.
Alrighty. I would like to run those characters through the linguistic. Can't talk. Linguistic. Shut up.
Linguistic database.
Yes, that.
For sure.
So, yeah, I'm going to use my momentum for that.
Okay. The tricorder pulls up a blank at first, and then it offers you a possibly related topic. This is not something which is in the Federation database, but they have definite resemblance to the hieroglyphics found on the artifact known as the Darcy probe.
Alrighty. Well, one thing's for sure, Ventot, this is not... It's granite. Another thing is, these characters on here do not appear anywhere in a Federation database. Instead, there's like tricorders bring up one known occurrence. What was it, Darcy?
Yes.
From a Darcy probe about a few years back.
Darcy, you say? And he walks over to a
Yes.
console and pulls up information on that probe, and he starts getting the idea of what it was doing to the Enterprise.
Yep. Give me a reason science check. Difficulty of 1. Yeah.
I was gonna think you were gonna say 2, seeing how the spewing symbols everywhere might cause some hindrance.
That's a good point. Yeah. So that'll be a difficulty of. I'm actually going to push that up to a difficulty of 3, but you do have your computer's focus.
Thank you. That gives so much.
You're welcome.
I was actually pointing that toward 4L,
Yeah.
but actually I have to have actually really good reasons. So,
Tell you what.
so you say difficulty 3?
Given what you're going through, actually, I'm going to make that reason engineering, because this is more fighting with the computer system rather than trying to look anything up.
Thank you. So difficulty is still 3.
Yep.
And you got your computer's focus.
So we got focus. Can I use my understand the machines better than people value? What does that do for me? I can't even remember.
If you use a value, then you can burn your determination point to get.
Oh, that's what those for. Okay, let's not do that just yet.
Yeah, it's a little overkill for an information gather.
Yeah. I just couldn't remember what has been a while since I never messed with values. So, alright. Okay. I will probably throw in also my all fingers and thumbs to get more momentum, so I can maybe ask more questions. But I understand that's how it's going to work.
I mean, that only applies if you succeed, but you should do.
Mm-hmm. Alright, I'm also going to throw in, can I take 1 momentum for a 3rd die?
Sure.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Alright. And away we go.
Cool, that's a success. And you do actually have cautious engineering, so you can reroll that 0.
Why not?
No, I do.
Why not? Up. Okay, stupid thing. Stay one. Ooh.
Hey, nice. Alright, that pushes you up to 5 momentum. And you now have 2 free questions actually.
Okay.
Because you've got all fingers and thumbs and operations manager. So basically you have 3 questions you can ask here.
Oh, well.
The first one, yes. You managed to fight through the systems to find the reference to the Darcy probe, and specifically what happened to the Enterprise D.
Okay.
What have you found, Ventot?
Well, first, something like this has happened before. It almost turned. The Darcy probe sent something onto the Enterprise D that almost turned it into a floating temple in space.
I read a little bit about that in the Academy. Wait. Would that have happened when Pharrell was in the Academy? I double check that.
Masks happened in 2370, which is
So I want to make sure I'm getting
17 years ago.
17 years.
So probably.
Oh, okay, yes, because Pharrell applied for Starfleet Academy and I cannot talk today, damn it. In 2375, so you would have heard a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I imagine it would have been a big topic in xenoarchaeology.
Yeah, and another little note I'm seeing here is they had a situation with the android Data where he took on personalities that were showing up from this from the probe, particularly one called Masaka, who apparently was the leader.
So yeah, some kind of deity or leader.
So my first question will probably be, how did the Enterprise reset itself?
Well, from what you can read here, they basically played along with the probe's mythology and persuaded it to turn itself off. Subsequent teams managed to discover a way to deactivate the probe to prevent it from pulling the same trick on other ships.
Okay. Any information on the language that could help us trying to stop it from our systems?
There is a list of hieroglyphics which were translated. It's a long way from an entire language, but there's enough that you could probably at least scrounge by.
Yeah, because go ahead.
Can we use any of this information to at least figure out what's on this stone wall? Or at least get an idea maybe what this, if it's a temple to Masaka or a temple to someone else.
Well, you compare the readings on your tricorder and the computer with what you're seeing on the wall. And bearing in mind that these are not the same symbols, they seem to be some sort of evolution of them.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it seems to be gobbledygook.
Oh, great.
I cannot make sense of this gobbledygook.
So, of course, I can't recognize anything from on here to what's on that wall, which means this is probably a completely different deity of the temple we're being built to. So, I don't know what to do.
Captain, you have a substantial power drain in engineering. Computer consoles all across the ship seems to be playing up, including on the bridge. And your science officer is telling you that there appears to be a feedback loop, an energy feedback loop between the Nightingale and the Eternal Sun.
By science officer, I'm assuming you mean the one that's on the
Yes, yeah.
on the bridge, not in the engineering.
All right.
I just realized I haven't turned this back on.
Bjorn's gonna tap his comm badge. Mr. Rannis, we appear to be having some feedback from the Eternal Sun. What's going on down there in engineering?
At the moment, we are trying to study this granite wall that's appeared in front of us. We appear to have a similar incident to what the Enterprise had with the Darcy probe about 20 years back. Ventot and I have tried to analyze the symbols here, but they seem to be either symbols that the Enterprise has not encountered or evolved symbols from that time.
I'm sorry, real quick. Did I use all my questions?
Yes, you can spend momentum to ask more if you want.
Okay, not yet.
I'm just amused by the image of Bjorn on the bridge, listening to this and being told, "We're trying to work out what the granite wall is doing," and it's like, why is there a granite wall in my engineering?
I did put it there.
There's a granite wall in engineering.
Yes, replicated.
I thought someone told him, but I guess not.
Told him what? Oh, about the wall.
Bjorn looks over to the operations officer on the bridge and goes, "There's not a chemical leak down in engineering, is there?"
The operations manager is clearly fighting with his console, but eventually looks up and goes, "No, sir. I'm not entirely sure what's happening down there. It's like a number of our systems have been rerouted and reconfigured into something else."
That would stand with what's happened with the Enterprise. The Darcy probe reconfigured a lot of its systems. Not to mention transformed one or two decks.
That's good.
All right.
Ventot interjects. If you want to turn on your viewer, you can kind of probably get a look for yourself down here, Captain. Unless you want to come down here. But I wouldn't recommend it.
I will take your word for it. I need you gentlemen to figure out what's going on with the signal, see if we can reverse engineer and get our way in.
Alrighty, I'll work on this feedback loop.
One of the things I think might come to Ventot's mind is one to try to avoid anything else being transformed, but two, protecting the warp core.
That'd probably be important.
So, but yeah.
All right. Pharrell.
Yes.
Reason science, please.
Alrighty. What's the difficulty this time?
This is going to be a difficulty of 2. And hey, look, you have computers focus.
I'm taking I'm going to be working at a console this time. Alrighty. Pharrell heads over to a wall console and starts working. Okay. Download.
Alright, just about. Okay.
Wait. I think I can re-roll that. Technical expertise. Oh, no, never mind. The ship's not assisting me. Maybe brush up on my talents.
I don't think the ship can assist anybody right now.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, it probably can. It's just that your complication range will shoot up.
Makes sense. Anyway,
so,
what am I doing and what did I find out?
You try to tap into the deflector, to work out exactly what happened with the viral pulse. And you suddenly realize that this might not have been intentional on their part, because this is a constant data link. The Nightingale and the Eternal Sun's computers have been cross-wired.
Wait, so the Eternal Sun is being transformed into like a Starfleet-esque place, and while our ship is being turned into their kind of temple?
No, but it would appear that if you're smart about this, you might actually be able to hack into their computer systems.
Alright. Let's do this. Anyway, before I start doing that, for Elder Bridge, I've determined what this feedback loop is about. It would seem that when I activated the deflector pulse, this feedback loop piggybacked onto the pulse and sent this across to our ship. But it doesn't seem to have been intentional on the Crusade's part, because they seem to be having. Wait, did I determine that they're having the same issues as we are, or?
I mean, you hit them with a viral pulse.
Duh.
So they're
They got a little bit more issues than we do.
it's not clear if they're even aware of the end link at the moment.
But it doesn't seem this does not seem to be intentional on the Eternal Sun's part. They don't seem to be. I'm not showing any kind of awareness that anything's going on with us. I can see about hacking in and observing what's going on over there.
That would certainly be useful, but can we stop the transmission first so that our ship doesn't turn into whatever it's turning into?
That is in the realm of unknowns at the moment. Seems how we're possibly dealing with evolved whatever this is since the Enterprise's time. There's no telling if it's going to be 10 times as difficult or 100 times.
Character here. Since it's their system's already in our system, the transmission of it is kind of moot, isn't it?
Little bit. If you were somehow just break the transmission at this point, then it's very likely you'd still have a Darcy virus running around your ship, and while you could probably recover from that, it would be messy. But if you could work out a way to get the Eternal Sun to take back its missing data, if you will, then in theory, the Nightingale would return to normal. Just remember, this isn't an attack. This is the Eternal Sun's computer getting very confused and thinking that the Nightingale's computers are an extension of it.
Thanks to the deflector pulse basically connecting the two.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, shall we get started with my hacking into the Eternal Sun? Hello?
I mean, who's that directed at?
You're the captain.
I mean, the captain did say that would be a useful thing to do.
Yes. The captain is more worried about like the ship not transforming into something else.
Well, how about we make some dice rolls and you can work out what is possible.
Alright.
So first of all, let's see, I'm going to need an... What would this be, actually? This is going to be... Actually, this is more Ventot's area. This is an insight engineering check.
Am I rolling that, or?
I mean, you are certainly allowed to. I'm just telling you what the dice are for that. It's insight engineering, computer focus applies, and you're looking at a difficulty of 3.
And that is 4L doing that, or am I?
You do need to work that out. You can even assist each other if you like.
What's your insight, Eric? Or
My insight is at 9, with my engineering at 3.
my insight's at 10 and my engineering's at 5.
Maybe you should hack into the Eternal Sun.
And you can assist.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the difficulty?
3.
3.
3, okay. How we... I think I'll take a momentum to get the 3 dice again. Computers focus applies. I have that, don't I?
And let's, for fun, put the complication range at 3 as well.
Oh,
Oh
joy.
boy. This will be fun.
I might want to go, oh, shoot. I might want to go up to 4 die.
Okay.
For safekeeping, now that complication range is down.
Yeah, alright, that'll bring us down to 2.
Remember, you're rolling 3 dice and you're getting 1 from Eric as well, so you're still rolling 4 effective.
Fair enough. I'll go ahead and stick. I will trust that this will be okay. Rolling. Complication range 3. Focus use. Task roll. Boom.
Ooh! Okay, let's see how I do. Hang on. I'm gonna double click everything as a precaution. Nice!
Alrighty, that gets you your momentum back. Alright. It takes a little while to basically get the random symbols to assemble into a fashion which you can actually interact with instead of just floating around. But with some help from the tricorder and a little bit of guesswork, you are able to find some symbols which are at least comprehensible, which seem to be tied into major systems. But there is a small problem. Based upon the records of the Enterprise and the way that the Darcy probes systems worked, you are relatively certain that if you activate any of these, it will immediately cause a transformative effect. Now, you're pretty sure you can guide that so that it happens in a particular location, but apparently this is just how... This might even be how it works on their ship. They attempt to access the system, and it generates the appropriate interaction room.
Okay.
Now, it's possible...
Just make sure I understand this, sorry. Essentially, if we wanted to, then we could click a button that says bridge, and we can have a copy of their bridge in a room. Is that what you're saying?
In theory. In
Interesting.
practice, it'll probably be more difficult than that. There'll probably be some form of safeguards in place, all that kind of thing. But
Yeah, given that it's like an alien interface that we're using here.
Interesting.
now, there is a possible alternative. This is a system which revolves around using replicated matter to create a new environment. Federation vessels have something like that.
What was that?
This is a system which revolves around using replicated matter to create a new environment. Federation starships use something similar.
The holodeck.
Exactly. If you're smart, you might be able to hook it into the holodeck and use that instead of having it transform the cafeteria or something.
So that's our way of hacking into the Eternal Sun.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Pharrell should probably try to pursue this avenue while Vintot tries to help restore the ship.
Which would send Vintot down to the holodeck, I would assume. And trying some of these buttons.
Or both of us can just go down, but I would imagine someone needs to be present to help fix the ship.
Well, essentially, if we're able to reverse this, there shouldn't be anything we need to be fixing.
Good point.
Did we lose Lazu?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm just letting you work it out.
Okay. Because, like I said, because if we can get this reversed, there's nothing that's going to be fixing.
Yeah.
So.
Engineering to bridge.
This is the bridge.
Captain, we may have devised a means of sort of hacking into the Eternal Sun. It would require using the systems of the holodeck. This may provide us means of restoring our ship back to normal.
And potentially acquiring some useful information. If you recall, part of your objective here was to work out what the Crusade's next move is.
With any luck, we should be able to tap into their data banks and figure out what their plans are in our realm of space.
All right, then, gentlemen, do it to it.
Aye, Captain. He looks to Vintot. This should be interesting.
Quite so. Well, are you going to give us like definitions of like what each symbol would be, or are we just pressing a symbol blindly?
There are 4 symbols which you've managed to locate, which seem to be crucial systems. You're not entirely sure which one is what each of them do, but they're important. They are, based upon the labels given to them by the tricorder, the Creator, the Sun, the Temple, and the Road.
Vintot rubs his head. Of course, it all has to be cryptic.
On the Enterprise, the Darcy Prove just spewed a bunch of random words.
Well, I'm definitely saying we maybe don't want to use the sun. I don't want us to suddenly find an actual burning sun in here. You know, it shouldn't hurt us, but...
that is presupposing that it makes a literal sun.
True, it could be a person. I guess it could be. Is it S-U-N or S-O-N? From the translation.
SUM, sorry.
Okay. Then we have the temple, which, if I remember right, that's how, if I remember from what I was just reading in the console, that's how the Enterprise had to create a temple to interact with Masaka.
Indeed.
Well, it does appear to be a little bit of a moot point. Because you check around the codes around each of these, and there's only one which is not completely sealed off by encryption and all that sort of thing. The creator appears to be the only one which you can activate at the moment. And that's mainly because it seems to be wedged open, like they couldn't close it off if they wanted to. Which would imply that it's something to do with why your two ships are connected.
What do you think of that, Farrell? I'm pointing out the creator symbol and noticing some of the things he just said.
Farrell puts his hand to his chin and examines. I had no idea. I would have to say it might be a result of my use of the deflector dish connecting the two of us.
Well,
let's get down to the holodeck and see what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's just hope this thing doesn't mess with our protection protocols on the holodeck.
Just so I got a clear picture of what's going on in space, is the deflector pulse still active, connecting the two ships, or...?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow. I would imagine that's kind of playing Hail Mary on our power systems.
It's definitely not helping.
And they can't turn it off?
Nope.
No, because something happened with the ship, and it's using the...
Okay.
Sorry.
Got it. Sorry.
Alright. So, for hooking the two ships, hooking up the holodeck, and playing with stuff, Ventot, I'm going to be needing a daring engineering roll. So we'll stick with the computer's focus, and again, difficulty of 3.
Can I assist, or...?
Are we going back down to a 1 complication range?
No, you're still on 3.
Still 3 complication range?
Yes, Pharrell, you can in fact assist.
Okay. I'll take a moment to buy another die.
And did you say daring engineering?
Yes, I will allow you, if you wish, to use reason science instead.
Okay, I'll do that.
Did you catch that I said I was going to take a momentum for him? 3rd die.
Okay. Down to 4.
Okay, and we got computer's focus and...
That we do.
And rolling. Oh!
Oh, God! It happened again!
Oh, dear. Oh, boy.
Dan, you're not the only one that rolled this thing now.
I...
Oh, boy.
Oh, God. I'm afraid to roll now.
Okay. Okay, Pharrell, what's the worst that could happen?
I got it cautious so I can re-roll at least one of those, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But
I didn't make it any worse.
I can at least hopefully get rid of one of those complications.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Ah!
Alright.
Close.
That is 2 successes and a complication.
Well,
Okay, yes. Unfortunately, Ventot did roll a success. Because successes only count if the primary one rolls any successes. Alright, this was succeed at a cost, which means that you still pass, even though you didn't get enough successes, but that is an extra complication, so that is 2 complications you're taking.
Oh boy.
I swear to God, if you guys manage to fail your way to turning Bjorn's room into a swamp, double PT for everyone.
Oh yeah, that did actually happen on Masks, didn't it?
I think it
Alright.
turned into
Well,
a
one of
ready
the-
room.
One of the decks turned into an aqueduct.
Which was awkward.
I was half
Alright,
expecting I was going to suddenly turn into something.
So, one of those complications you will not find out until it actually bites you. And the other one... Alright, yes. So, you managed to hook up the systems. No problem. You get the feeling that you might have missed something, but you're pretty certain that, at the very least, it will just transform the holodeck instead of something else on the ship. So that's the worst case scenario rather than it actually using the holodeck systems. You may enter when ready.
Well, are you ready, Vin? Far?
I got it backwards again. Dang it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I'll keep getting my microphone hardware thing backwards. Okay.
It's traditional at this point.
Well, he let's go in, and the enters the holodeck. What do I see?
Well, you enter, and you see a museum. That's the best thing. That's the best description you can come up with for it. You can see there's windows which look out into space. There's displays showing off all kinds of strange artifacts.
So this is what Creator has shown us?
Mm-hmm. Doors close behind you, the arch fades. Welcome to the first
As he
area.
watches the arch fade and go, at least we know everything in here is still a hologram.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me feel a bit more comfortable.
Well, note this, Ventot. This is not a normal occurrence, so be prepared for anything.
I'm just hoping if I say the words to turn off this thing, it will turn off. That's all I'm happy about. Okay, let's explore and take a look around these artifacts, I guess. I'm assuming there's artifacts, there's paintings on the wall or something.
Mm-hmm. All kinds of things.
So, I might suggest we split up and take different sides of the walls, I guess.
It's all very pretty. There's a definite aesthetic going on here, which, I mean, the Crusaders might be murderous space vampires from another dimension, but
I know their aesthetics.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's something oddly functional here. Like, you look at some of the objects. You look at a painting of a star. Sort of tilt your head, and you suddenly realize, wait, no, that's the star in this system.
Like, is it a painting or a console display?
That's a wonderful question.
I would think you would pick up that being the star in the system more than I would. 4L.
Well, you've got astrometrics as a.
I don't stare at star charts. I stare at engineering schematics. So.
Yeah, for our science officer, and also you've got the astrophysics focus. So yeah, you would definitely realize that.
So yeah, would I need a scan to determine that, or do I just realize that right off?
You realize it by looking at it.
Very, very, very curious. This is a room of functionality and aesthetics. Not what I was honestly expecting.
You could try interacting with it.
Why do you say that, 4L? As he walks back over to him.
Because a number of these decorative console displays show certain images of this system. Take this one for instance, it's an image of the system star.
He says console, and he's like, I don't see any console, I just see paintings. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
I'm thinking that they sort of function as both painting-esque and a console display. It's kind of an odd reasoning to that, but
if they're consoles, there should be buttons or something to control them with. I guess we can continue looking around.
That's my thought exactly. I'm going to try and interface with it.
So you're reaching out to touch the painting?
Yes.
Alright. You reach out, and just like this little energy grid appears around it, which seems to be something you can manipulate. Like you move your hand, and suddenly the display zooms in.
Ventag gives his best Spock. Fascinating.
Fascinating. I was tempted to say fascinating, but I thought that would be too on the nose.
I just had to.
Yeah. One of us had to. Anyway.
That's interesting. But more importantly, it raises some questions about some of the things which don't have an obvious relevance. Like there's some sort of helmet, and there's a bird, and all of these things.
Those are all paintings?
No, those are all objects.
These are sculptures, actually.
Okay. Well, I would say while he's messing around with that painting console, I might move over to the bird.
That was going to be my thought.
And see if there's anything I can do to manipulate that.
Well, you find that you can actually pick it up. It's completely weightless. And as you hold it in your hands, it abruptly changes shape into the nightingale.
Pharrell turns his head. Now that is interesting.
Was the bird that it looked like before an actual nightingale? We just didn't pick up on it.
No, it was just a stylized bird as opposed to anything in particular.
Okay. Oh, that is definitely interesting.
As you rotate it, you notice that there is what appears to be a representation of the deflector pulse being emitted from it.
This must represent what the nightingale is currently doing.
Do you think we're in their sensors?
That's a certain possibility. I mean, I am able to interact with this painting console display that's focused on the star.
But as far as I can tell, we can't really manipulate. We can only look at and see things.
At the moment, anyway.
Uh,
But remember, we're hacked in, so we could try to manipulate some things.
Is there anything on this on the Nightingale image or sculpture that's holding in my hands that shows anything else particular besides the deflector pulse? Does it show like places in the ship that might have been transformed?
No, it doesn't. But as you're examining it, now that you have an idea that everything in this room, even the more esoteric things in this room are really symbols which could tie into other stuff. You suddenly realize that the helmet looks damaged.
Pharrell walks over to the helmet and picks it up.
This flickers slightly and then transforms into an actual console.
Well,
it's like with the energy grid from before, it's all holograms, stuff in the air to interact with. If you get what I mean.
I believe so. Well.
But even without pulling out the tricorder to start decoding all the symbols on there, you notice a bunch of things which just look, even to someone not familiar with this technology or language, are just screaming, broken.
There seems to be a broken console. Even without my tricorder, I can tell that some of these symbols are indicative of malfunctions or out-of-order symbols. Could I try interacting with this console?
You may.
Alright. Would I need to roll something for that?
Yes. Go ahead and give me a science insight check. It's going to be a difficulty of... Let's go with a difficulty of 2.
Alright, is our complication back to 1?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And would I get my computer's focus here?
You would, actually.
Thought so. You said difficulty 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I won't rob the kitty for a die. Ooh.
Cool. Gets your momentum back. Alright, you poke through it, and you keep seeing references to the sun. As in the symbol of the sun, not the actual star. Along with... You get a readout which might be of the ship itself. Showing a damage report, maybe? So this looks like it might be some form of damage report, systems overview, tactical uplink. It might theoretically be possible to use the fact that this is balked, and at least in part by the viral pulse which you used, to possibly unlock access to the sun.
The sun is in the other symbol that was in the other symbol.
That's correct.
Okay.
And on that note, have a think about what you're going to be wanting to do with that. I do need to call a break there.
All right.
So we'll be back in an hour-ish. I will let you guys know exactly when. I'm not sure exactly how long this will take. But hopefully, we won't be out of action for too long.
All right.
I'll go ahead and put some lovely interlude music on. And I shall